Welcome to Anxious While Black, the podcast that explores intersection of wellness, being Black in America, LGBTQ plus experiences, young adulthood, and many more. Hi, I'm Emperor.
And I'm Tevin, and we're excited you have decided to join us on our very first episode. We created Anxious While Black because being a young, gay, Black male in America is frankly ghetto.
Very, very ghetto.
And we know a lot of people can relate, so we wanted to create something that was inspiring, that allowed people to connect to, and hopefully something that they can take bits and pieces of and use it in their everyday life.
To let all of you guys know, this is a very safe space for everyone. We accept everyone, whether you're gay, straight, bi, man, female, non-binary. So come with us and enjoy this ride.
We're going to have fun with it.
Yes, we are all the time.
So that you can get to know us a little bit more, we're going to play a little game of this or that.
I'm excited about that.
Emperor, when you go on vacation, do you prefer to have a relaxed experience or would you prefer planned out activities?
Listen, I like to relax on vacation, planned out experiences. Like I work, right? Most of us do, but most of us should work. And I do a lot of planning at work. Everything is scheduled from meetings to touch bases to all types of things. So when I'm on vacation, I like to vacate away from all of that stuff and just have a really, really good time, just relaxing, enjoying. I don't need a schedule. I want to go on the beach, have a margarita with some top shelf tequila and have a great time. What about you?
I'm down for a margarita too. Like, I don't need to go on vacation, be running around, then coming home and feel like I need a post vacation vacation.
I feel that.
I like being in the pool all day, maybe getting a little bit of sunburn around my forehead area, but I'm not trying to run around all day.
I feel you. I feel you. All right, I'm going to ask the next question. Oh man, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Why you chose coffee?
Because tea doesn't do anything for me. I drink tea, I want to go to sleep. I drink coffee, I can have like a productive day. Especially with like a nice iced latte, put a little agave in there, some nice oat milk, some ice, and mix it all together.
Oh man, listen, I don't drink coffee. I feel like coffee has the stigma of giving you energy, and it just makes me tired. I love
You're not
tea.
drinking the right coffee.
Oh man, I've tried them all, and all it does is send me right to the bathroom. I like tea. Let me tell you why. It's good for your voice. If you sing, me, makes you sound good. It calms you, it soothes you, and it doesn't really make you tired. Tea is great for the voice. I mean, all the best of the best drink it. And yeah, I don't know why people drink coffee for. I just feel like people is addicted because it has a lot of caffeine in it.
Alright. So there are teas with caffeine. So are you drinking like brisk?
No, I don't cheap. I don't cheap. I don't drink cheap. Look, I'm stuttering my tongue. I do not drink cheap tea. So brisk would not be in what I drink. I drink cold throat tea. And again, it's good for the chest and it's good for the throat. That
Throw a
was real
little
shady,
lemon
but I
up in there.
appreciate it. A little bit lemon, a little bit of
All right.
lemon.
Next question. Would you rather have a night out or would you rather stay home?
Ugh, that's a good question. I guess it depends. Like I like to stay home when it's cold, um, or like when a lot is going on in the world. I like to stay in my house. I mean, my rent is very expensive. We live in New York City, right? So I like to stay in my house and just relax and chill. But if it's like an event going on, or it's somebody's party, or I'm just stressed out from work because work can be stressed sometimes. I'm pretty sure y'all can feel me with that one. I like to go and have a good time.
Mm, I think it depends. Like if it's the summer, I'm trying to be outside. I'm trying to be in the house. I can do that all winter. We only have what 90 days of summer, something like
If
that.
that,
Yeah, so we don't know. And it takes forever to get hot these days. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't really get cold in the winter, but then it takes forever to finally hit 80 degrees. So I'm trying to enjoy every ounce of it. Winter, I could stay home, put on some good music, have a nice glass of wine, and just chill out.
you should have asked would you rather be um, inside in the wintertime or outside in the summertime.
Yes. Okay.
The next one. Would you rather die young and alone, but have accomplished all your career dreams, or would you rather die old, accomplish very little, and surrounded by people who love and care for you?
Think I would rather die old and have accomplished very little. I don't want to be like the most successful person in the world and then be lonely because who am I sharing that with? Rather than being old and being surrounded by family and being happy and just live. I feel like that's probably more fulfilling than accomplishing everything that I wanted to accomplish. Being surrounded by like people that I love and care about me, that's probably the way to go.
I have to agree with you. dying young and being accomplished, I mean, I would be dead already if that would have been my thing right now. But yeah, I just rather be surrounded with people who I love. To me, that is success for me, and that does make me smile because again, I know people from experience who are very successful. And they're very lonely, or I've known people who were very successful and they died very young. And yes, they might have left behind a legacy, but they never got a chance to see what their full potential is, right? Because you passing away, unfortunately, people do at like 28, 30, 31. That's very young. And you might, yeah, okay, you was 31 years old, but like, you know what it is to be 35, 40, 45, 50. You didn't see your kids really grow up if you wanted to have that, right? You didn't get to see yourself age and become more wise. So if you're just chasing a career, you need to reevaluate your your everything.
True. It wouldn't be Anxious While Black if we didn't talk about what makes us anxious. So, what's making you anxious for this week?
Uh, what's not making me anxious this week? Politics as a whole is making me anxious this week. There's so much going on with just like the election and everything, and it's just, man, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's very shocking what I've seen and read.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like people have saw what this orange man has done for 4 years straight, and they're gonna about to
That
vote him to represent their party again in the next election.
I mean, it's weird. I guess people can grab people in nasty places and still get elected,
So,
which is really messed up. I mean, if he was a different skin tone, this would be a different
well,
conversation.
his mouth's gonna get him in trouble. He gets yesterday he lost that court case. He has to pay that woman 80 something million. So
Does he have it?
we'll find out. Or I'm sure she'll sue and get more money if he keeps running his mouth, and he won't have it.
I ain't hang out with sis. She getting $80 million. Listen,
Make sure you get out and vote because we don't need another 4 years of him.
yeah, voting is very, very important. We see what happens when people don't go out and vote, right? People go, "Oh, I don't understand what happened. This don't make any sense." And the ones who are normally complaining are the ones who are not being active or proactive to go get things done, right? So, not make it a vote campaign, but it's very important to voice how you feel because literally one person can make a big difference. As you can see, one person in office can make a big difference as well.
That's true. All right. So is it time to get into the topic for the day?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that.
So today we're going to talk about self-love. You want to talk, what's the definition of self-love? I
So
know you have it.
I'm gonna give you out a Webster the Webster definition part of what it is. Self-love definition: a proper regard for and attention to one's own happiness or well-being. What does that mean to you?
I feel like it's like putting yourself first.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius.
And just really just appreciating yourself and just loving everything that God has created for you and created about you. So whether it's like that little freckle on your face or what you've accomplished in life or your family and friends or what makes you you, it's really just truly loving that and appreciating it. It's Self-love is not about being selfish. It's about really just appreciating what you have and what you can offer.
I
What do you feel like?
concur. I do. Again, I like that you said self-love is not being selfish, right? A lot of people equate that, and I'm not sure why, but self-love is very vital to your growth as a whole. Because you have to love yourself first, and you have to really like the flaws and all, right? A lot of people go, oh, they kind of always neglect the thing that makes them human or makes them seem like they're weak or makes them seem like they're not good enough. I goes, everything that's a part of you, all the components that make you up, makes you who you are. So you need to appreciate the good, the bad, the uglies, the left, the right, the down, and the sideways. It's very, very important because if you don't have self-love, you're susceptible to a lot of things. One of is, joining a cult. And again, a lot of
Not a
people
call.
yeah, yeah, listen, I said a cult, I'm gonna say it, a cult. A lot of people who join cults, right? Why do they join cults? Because they feel down and out, they're not really sure of themselves, and they're looking for love from an organization or a person. And when you're searching for things like that, people can manipulate, change things, switch things around, and you don't even know who you are at the end. Look at that cult it was a documentary on Netflix where everyone ended up killing themselves at the end, right? Like it was one of the most biggest,
Are
you know
you
what I'm talking
talking
about.
about it was on I think it was on Peacock, that Jim Jones one?
It was something like
Yeah.
that. Again, like it started off as like, oh, come in. Everybody, okay, great. It was really cool. Then he had everyone move to like a resort island. Like who
They
would
all moved to Guyana.
yes, right. Like
from
You
San
and it's
Francisco.
gave up your whole entire life and has moved to a place where you became, you know, oh, I don't know what was going on there, but I would never do that. Again, if you had self-love, it wouldn't get to that point.
Well, we have to get you to watch that documentary because you would know what it was all about. So, how do you practice self love?
Oh man. Well, one way that I started practicing self-love recently is I started going to therapy. It's very, very,
Very
very, very
important.
important. Oh man, it's very, very important. And there was a stigma around, especially us black people and brown people with going to therapy. They kind of associated with being weak or just like not, taking the easy way out. I'm like, that's absolutely crazy. I feel like therapy is very therapeutic. I guess the word goes hand in hand, right? Talking to someone just about experiences that you've been through, things that you probably don't feel even safe sharing with even your parents or even a partner or a friend um, really help unlock some things, right? You start speaking and the stuff starts coming out, you start unlocking, and you start, again, always go back to childhood. I don't know why it does that, but a lot of things stem from childhood that kind of shape who you are today. And sometimes you're not even aware of why you're doing certain things or moving a certain way or why you're so damn angry all the time.
Mhm.
I'm pro therapy all day.
Yeah, I recently signed up with a new therapist. Was like my third one, just really trying to find the right one. But I've noticed therapy has happened a lot. Well, has changed a lot within my life, made me focus more on things, made me able to like cope with my anxiety that I've dealt with from time to time a little better and things like that. But also something big I've been doing this year is meditating.
Mm.
It's really been like helping me like settle down, especially if I start it in the morning. I found studies that meditation also helps you to increase focus throughout the day.
All right.
And I've noticed a little bit of difference. I do like before I was doing it, I was just like, okay, my mind's running at a million miles per minute. But I've been doing more like guided meditation. So they teach you what to do when your mind's wandering away. So
Copy.
I've been better to able manage that and meditate.
I'm gonna have to start meditating myself
Yeah,
because
you do.
you just sound very wow, that's you just sound very like calm and reserved when you said meditation. What else do you do outside of therapy?
I would say like my self-care routine. So like going to the gym, even like down to like skincare or things like that. Gym's really good. It increases endorphins. You're in the gym all the time.
All the time. Listen, I live in the gym, y'all.
And then also like self-care, like taking care of your skin is just another way of like I won't say like making love to yourself. That sounds a little weird, but
It kind of
another
is.
way of showing love to yourself, just like appreciate what your skin's your biggest organ. So
That's true.
you're really just taking care of it. And if you are not comfortable about your skin or whatever, visit a dermatologist because they can really help you get together. And actually, just thinking over self love is like going to all your doctor's appointments.
Absolutely.
That's a part of like wellness, and I have a whole team of doctors I'm billing. So you have dermatologist, your dentist, your orthopedic doctor, your primary care physician, your what else?
Everything.
Everything, doc. Yeah, your
Everything.
therapist.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
I think it's very interesting that you said that because a lot of times, like, people will come up to you, especially like in the gym. Again, I'm very active in the gym. 6 days a week, y'all, hit me up. Where, someone's like, "So what did you do? Like, what are you doing? Like, you must lift, like you must bench press 400 pounds, or you must work out for 4 hours straight." And I'm like, actually, no, I just take care of myself all around. It's a whole type of journey, right? Even down to the spiritual aspect. Um, yeah, like I just eat well, I drink my water, I mind my business, and I pray. And people like, that's what you do? I'm like, yeah. And I go to the doctor. Like if something is hurting, I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, I'm in pain, it might go away. Then 2 weeks later, oh, it's getting worse, I'm gonna go away. Like that's you not paying attention to your body. Like when your body's in pain, that means there's something that's wrong. So part of self-love is you getting up and going to go check on it and see what's going on. Um, people
I'm known for like if something's hurting, I'm like, go to the doctor. Don't sit around and let it fester and let it get worse. Like I have too many people that I know who have had to deal with far worse things that they would have not have to dealt with if they had gone to the doctor earlier.
And that's true. And then you start the question, you ask them, so why didn't you go? And then it comes and then it breaks down to like, oh, now you like, so what's going on? Next, you know, a lot of them unfortunately say, like, I'm honestly I'm depressed. And then you're like, oh wow, like why are you depressed? Or I feel a certain type of way, or I feel less than. And then you go, wow, then it becomes a deeper conversation. Even down to people going to the gym, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to sit there and try to look like Dwayne Johnson or me. But
Oh,
like
you would need a lot of Botox around your eyes for that.
no,
So.
that is true, but I'm not trying to throw no shots at him, but that is true. Um, yeah, but like it's very therapeutic, right? Moving around is health is wealth. I say that all the time. Like we're living longer these days and we're doing things. And like, you have 40-year-olds and people who are 50, and that's not old, by the way, who are giving 20 and 30-year-olds a run for their money, right? And again, it's just you taking that next step and being active and moving. Some people don't want to do that. And you ask them why. And a lot of time it's because they're not confident with who they are, or they don't feel like they can do it because their whole entire life they probably really feel like they can't. There are times like again when I go back to the gym because I'm very active there where I see people coming to the gym and they just look around and like they just like don't know what to do. And I'm just like, oh, is it because you don't know what exercise is? No, because they feel like they look at someone who has a physique or something like that, or looks like they're glowing, and they feel like they can't amount to that. And I feel bad 'cause I'm like, wow, like you really are so hard on yourself. It starts with you. Like you're not competing with that person, you're competing with yourself, right? So my thing is like, how do you want to be? How do you see yourself? Something very realistic. Like, what do you want to do and how do you go after it? And you keep your mind focused and tunnel vision and you do again, it's a journey. It's one step at a time, at a time, at a time. But when you don't have a type of confidence or you don't have a type of self-love, you just block it up, make an excuse. You say tomorrow, 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 and tomorrow turns into 15 years.
That's true.
I've seen it happen.
I want to go back to where you said you mind your business.
Oh,
Because
listen.
being selective with your conflict and just protecting your energy is a huge part of loving yourself.
No, it is. Again, I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm be on social media looking and like see what's going on and I have my ears to the streets, but like I'm not getting involved with all that stuff. Like when there's feuds between artists, I see people jumping on the page, oh da 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 da. I'm like, oh well, why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, why do you really care? Like you're on social media watching and stalking them, and at the same time, they out there being great, whether you agree on one side or the other, right? So I just mind my business. That's why, as you see,
And then
I'm
and
unbothered.
not arguing with people, even if someone's trying to come for, as long as they're not like physically harming you or coming or talk like I was harming your family
Right.
or affecting your livelihood. Like at the end of the day, who cares? Like just leave it up to God. God will handle them
He
because
always
karma
does.
is real.
Karma's real. I met her a couple of times and you don't mess with her. Karma is a real person.
I think also like vacation. Vacation
Oh,
is a
vacation.
huge part of self love. We
Absolutely.
talked about it a little bit in our little Q&A to get to know us, but it's a very important part of self love.
No, I agree with you, and I can speak from experience with this. So, certain jobs offer you vacation. I am one of the blessed ones who get 3 weeks. Some people get more. Let me know where you get that at. But I get 3 weeks vacation, and last year was the first time like I spaced it out very like strategically. So like every quarter, well, every 4 months, pretty much, I sat there and went on vacation. So it gave me a reset. I closed my phone. I turned off my emails. I just sat there and just like really enjoyed my vacation and just had a good time. And it makes you think. It makes you self-reflect. And again, yeah, you might want to go get a margarita, like I said earlier. Go drink a margarita, go hang out, go chill. But it's also it forces you to really think and just look at yourself and go, okay, first question is, am I happy? I'm on vacation, right? Like I'm having this great time. Again, vacation should be a time to, self-love, but that should not be the only time where you are happy. So
Yeah.
if you're sitting there saying that after working for 4 or 5 months, my first type of happiness is going on vacation, that is a problem.
And vacation shouldn't be used to run away from your problems because those problems are still
That
going to
part.
be there when you get home.
They ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
They might even follow you to Paris
Yeah.
and go, hi, you thought you forgot about me? Absolutely not.
Like it could be a way to get away from problems, but those problems shouldn't be, it's not to solve all for your problems.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And frankly, you also were talking about like the number of vacation days you have.
Yeah.
And like I think that also touches on like your job. Like if you have a job that doesn't give you the proper amount of vacation days, you need to find a new one.
That's
That's a
abuse.
very important part of self-love.
That
Having a job that you enjoy. Because if your job doesn't love you, how can you love yourself?
Not if your job doesn't love
Yeah.
you.
If you don't love your job is at this point, what I guess at the point in time where you're thinking about your job, or what am I trying to say?
I will say this, just to jump over what you said
Yeah.
with the whole job situation. Like, I feel like the pandemic definitely opened people's eyes when it came down to just, the whole self-love aspect, right?
Yeah.
It kind of forced you to sit home
Yeah.
and really think and really evaluate and really go, oh, what am I doing? Period. Right? Like you saw a lot of people having to do things themselves and really work on themselves. They couldn't just go to places or go call somewhere or look at social media because no one really was doing anything. So you really had to sit there and just, do things yourself. People started doing businesses and picked up a trade and started doing things that were happy and, quit their job, like Beyonce said in her song. You know, but no, all jokes aside, like it was a eye opener for a lot of people. Also for certain companies to go, oh, well, I can't keep abusing these people anymore because they know their self-worth and value and they'll go somewhere else where they'll feel appreciated. So it forced the hand of people. And I'm glad for those
And
who,
Gen Z will quit a job and think about it later.
oh man, they
So
will. I've hired a few of them. I'm like, you know what? This ain't, I've hired, no, literally, I've hired someone who, again, I was sweet to her. She came in, she was like, you're great. I'm happy you trained me, but this ain't for me because it's too stressful and I'm not going to be treated anything less than I feel like I should be treated. I said, I respect it.
I
Look,
admire it.
I listen,
I
I
don't
gave her a high
I can't
five.
do it, but I admire it.
I can't. My rent too expensive. So I'm not at that point yet where I can do that, but I do respect anyone who has a hard line in the sand and goes, I'm not going or doing anything beyond this. Some people might call it weak. I call it a superpower.
Yeah, and then you have, like, companies last year, they were talking about employees quiet quitting and all the other stuff. Quiet quitting shouldn't be first off, it shouldn't be a term for an employee putting their time first and valuing their work-life balance. That's just a thing that companies created just to make employees feel bad about valuing their mental health or valuing time with their family or just taking a break because frankly, especially, like, working from home, like, sometimes you get caught up.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Well, working from home, sometimes you get caught up in work and you could end up working more hours than you would if you were to go into an office or wherever you work at.
Wow.
So, quiet quitting is self-love.
No, quiet quitting is self-love. Listen, I'm definitely here for that.
And also, it's like self-love is like loving the skin that you're in, whether it's like just appreciating what God gave you. I mean, there is surgery. If you don't appreciate it, we're not anti-surgery, but make sure you're doing it for yourself and not doing it for someone else. Because you have to love yourself, and you shouldn't be doing it for the love of someone else.
That is true. I want to touch on surgeries a little bit. Again, I'm for everything. If you want to do it, yeah, I'm all for it, right? Again, you might say, you know what, I don't like that, I can't gain weight, or I hate the way that, or sorry, dislike. We use the word dislike here. Dislike that, my features are certain part are exaggerated or small, or I want a bigger chest or a bigger booty. And listen, I get it. But if the reason why you're doing it is because social media influenced you, or you see that those women, men or non-binary who got it done became popular, you're trying to follow suit, then that's a problem for me. Again, if you want to do it for yourself, go right ahead. You want to get the big old chest because you like, you know what? I've always felt insecure because I didn't like it, then that's fine. But if you really could look in the mirror and say, I think I'm okay, and get and kind of quiet the noise, then it's all right. But we already know this that most people get surgery for other people, not themselves. A lot of, unfortunately, especially as we get older, people start to get surgery to try to compete with the younger generation. I go, they had their time. Go have fun. Listen, age gracefully. Go have fun. Like, hang out with people your age. Like, not gonna mention no names, but I know someone who compares herself to her daughter. I'm like, you're 55 years old. Like, your daughter's in her 20s. Like, dude, let her have her time. But you're sitting there trying to get things done, just trying to like, oh, when I was your age, the key word was when.
It was a different time.
Different time. It was black and white back in the day. There wasn't even no color on TV. Like, I need you to stop it. Like, I need you to stop and just watch them grow. They can learn from you. You know what I'm saying? But people are doing things to try to hold on to something that's not there. No matter how much money you have, guess what? Time gets everybody and it waits for no one.
That's it. I'm trying to keep time off as long as I can.
As you can see, that's why we said self-love, right? We moisturize, we take care of our skin, we drink our water, and we mind our business. You never guess our ages. Why? Because that's what we do. So Father time comes for us, but I want the cracking to happen a lot later in life.
Yeah. And the reminder, self-love is not being selfish, it's not being self-absorbed, it's not being conceited. It's about putting yourself first and making sure that you're well. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, then how do you expect someone else to love you?
And I'm also gonna share something with you guys that, you know, we talked about like self-love being such a positive thing. When you start to embrace that and learn more about yourself, you're gonna have to make some tough decisions. You're gonna start seeing that people who are in your life shouldn't be there. And they might hold some titles that you like, oh, this can't, it's impossible, right? It's like watching a movie and at the end of the movie, it was your brother who stabbed you in the back. You're like, how is that even possible? Not saying it's your brother, but I'm just saying, like, it's people who you might, oh, it's been my best friend for 15 years, or this and that and the third. When you start working on yourself, people might sit there and say, oh, you think you're better than me? Or who you think you are? Or
Who do
you're
you think you are? That's why that lady.
Remember that lady? She's crazy. Who do you think you are? Watch this. It was a Dr. Phil thing. You have to look at it. It's absolute. Ah, man, it has me screaming. But yeah, like people start to hate and jealousy will start to happen, and it's unfortunate. Like you start taking care of yourself. Oh, look at you. All this start thinking you're doing something that's not true. Like I've been told that I was taking steroids at one point. And I was like, no, I'll just put in the work. And again, I'm on my business and I eat
We're
properly.
taking steroids.
That's what they said.
Oh my goodness.
I know that, oh, there's no way you could look like that. I was like, wow, like my friend is telling me that. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's blatant jealousy,
Mhm.
blatant disrespect.
And guess where they at? Well, I left them.
Mhm. Well, you gotta love yourself.
That's right. Love yourself, Lucius. You
Mhm.
got to,
Put
man.
yourself first.
What else about self-love? I want to touch on the spiritual real quick. I'm an avid believer in praying. Prayer has got me through some very, 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 very tough times in my personal life. I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I was down and out at one point, and I felt like I had no one to turn to, nothing. And I'm not here to preach to anybody, but this is just a way that helped me with self-love. Like I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, still didn't see a change. And what's prayer without putting the work, right? So I started being more specific with my prayers. Not saying, oh, I want my life to change. Change how? It could change for the worse. It could change a different
At the end of the day,
situation.
God's not the only one listening.
You listen, y'all know there's a lot of ears out there in the streets. So you gotta be very, very specific. I just pray for like a better mind, right? For me to see things, for a clearer head, for me to feel more confident, to really accept everything about myself. I feel like that, I spend a lot of time poking fun and pointing out everything that made me seem like imperfect, even down to like if y'all look at me, asymmetry face. Like it is what it is, right? But it makes me who I am. This is how God made me. And I love who I am. Again, if it's something that I wanted to fix because the world wanted me to fix it, I wouldn't do it. You'll get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, should I get surgery for it? No, why? Because there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it doesn't make me look ugly. Or, me being teased about my chest growing up, right? I used to get teased a lot. I used to put book bags in the front and it made me very insecure. Even when I started working out and my body started transforming, I still just kept looking at what was wrong. I said, well, okay, well, we got to reevaluate this here. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this, right? Like, why am I sitting there beating myself up with a goal is to build yourself up? I had to do some deep digging. And one thing that I would like to share with you guys is I call it like the mirror experiment. So pretty much it's just you by yourself, no friends, no partner, no family. Just go inside a mirror in your house, full length, whatever you have. Take the makeup off, take the tracks out, take the wig off, take everything that you try to hide who you are seriously, and just stare at yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and just really just look at everything and then look inward and outward. You might cry. I know I did. And just be very honest with yourself. You can lie to the world all you want to, but just be very honest with yourself. Like, oh, you might be a nasty person. Guess what? It's not okay, but it's okay that you're understanding that. You might be an addict. That might be a thing too. You might be someone who's super sweet and you're so sweet that people take advantage of you and you don't know how to say no. Or you might sit there and say you don't like the way you look, or you might have complexion issues, which people have because the way the world told you to. Do you think it's an issue, or has the world told you it's an issue? Once you start and look at things, like for me, even down till again, I told you, like, I was like, oh, my face being, not symmetrical. I was like, so what? I was like, who cares? Okay. What's gonna happen? You ain't gonna get a modeling contract, so what? Guess what? You love yourself, God loves you, and people who love you for you, it shouldn't be a problem, right? So you keep pushing. After I did the mirror exercise, it was just like it felt great. And the one reason what made me do it was, remember we had a podcast before, and when it first aired and you put it out, I heard how I sounded, and I broke down. I was like, "Why do I sound this way? My voice sounds really crazy." I broke down at work inside the stock room. Can y'all believe it? In the stock room, right? And it was the best and worst thing that probably happened to me. Like, I had to hear the way I sound because I used to sit there and try to change my voice a lot, which caused throat issues for me.
Trying to be like Lou Raw.
Trying to be like Lou Ross, right? Trying to sound all like what's going on. Now, the funny thing is, I already have a deep voice, but I always heard, people making fun of the way I sound, or be called all types of things. Always in packs, so they couldn't do it one-on-one. Trying to come at me and stuff like that. So I tried to always make my voice sound like extra deep, knowing that there was nothing wrong with how you sound in the first place. So that kind of made me do the mirror test that I just kind of discovered on my own. Ever since then, I've been walking to the beat of my own drum, feeling great, just feeling really, really cool. And then afterwards, you start to see that people start flocking to you, asking you, "Oh, so what are you doing? You're so confident. Why you stand so tall?" And it happens all the time, and it's
First off,
crazy.
you're 6'3", so you're
I
gonna
am
stand tall.
6'3", right? But I'm not LeBron James height. I'm not a skyscraper. But listen, I have great posture. Why? Most people who don't practice self-love, they walk hunched over. You stand tall, you stand strong, and you stand proud.
I know another thing with the mirror exercise. I know a lot of people, they'll take like sticky notes and write things about themselves and stick them there and leave them there to remind
Mm,
themselves every day.
I'm still in that.
Yeah, so
I'm still in that. I'm still in that.
just make sure you give me my copyright.
You know what? I will not. But yeah, overall self-love is just very, very important. And we hope that, the things that we spoke about today will definitely just help you guys just dig a little deep. Again, it's not gonna happen in a day. If it does, let me know what you did. But yeah, taking care of yourself is very, very important from your inside out, like Tevin talked about, from even down to skincare and hair care. It's not vanity, y'all. Like the first thing, like, have you ever went outside? Again, have you ever went outside and it was like a dark, gloomy day and you're like, ugh, the weather's crazy, I have no energy. And you just kind of did yourself up, put on like a really nice outfit, went outside and changed your whole attitude.
There's been times where I left out the house going somewhere, and I had to turn around and go back home because I didn't like my outfit. And then once I changed, I felt a lot better.
Was it
I was
work?
late. I was going somewhere.
Not somewhere. Oh man, but it's very, very important.
You know what that sound means?
Oh yeah.
It's time for Emperor's Rant.
I've been waiting for this the whole entire episode. It's my favorite part. Listen, I like to talk about everything, but my rant, oh man, let's go.
Okay, so for Emperor's Rant, he has 2 minutes to get stuff off his chest.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
2
it?
minutes. Yeah. And to keep track of time, I brought this nice little countdown timer that we're going to set to 2 minutes. So let me get it set up.
Listen, every episode we produce, we're definitely gonna have an Emperor's Rant because I have so much to say. If you guys personally know me, I speak a mile a minute. You have no idea. I'm speaking very slow right now to work on some things. But yeah, I have a lot to say. So
And your 2 minutes have just started.
it started already? Come on, it's not 2 minutes? All right. Listen, guys, girls, non-binary, my first thing I'm gonna talk about is people touching people in the club. Let me put this down because I got this down. Look at me. Look, it's a hot mess, right? Do not touch people when you're out. I didn't know how bad it was until like I was going on social media and looking at people's stories and posts and videos about how they're walking, hang out with their friends, having a good time, drinking some tequila, dancing to the latest song, doing a little shake, 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 shimmy. And then someone will come up to them and just grab them, whether it's on the shoulder or other parts that I cannot say because we probably have some young viewers. It is absolutely disgusting. First of all, it is assault. You should be arrested. You should be behind bars. You should be underneath the jail. It is absolutely disgusting.
Not under
Hi,
the jail.
under the jail. Under the jail. How you gonna come up to someone uninvited and just touch them? And then when they react a certain type of way, whether with a smack or a punch, you get upset. So if someone touch you, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna swing?
You call 911.
You can call 911, but like they can run out the club and get out of here. Look, don't touch nobody. What is wrong with you? It is disgusting. It happened to me. I had, listen, I get it. Assault is assault. Don't touch no one. It's nasty. You ain't supposed to be doing it. It's crazy. It's funny how my homegirl came up to me and she was like, yeah, it happens to me all the time. I go, all the time? Like, that's not a thing. So I need that to stop. Like, it's disgusting. And I'm not saying it's a man or a woman or non-binary thing, but like rejection is real. Ask them how you feel. Say, hey, I think you cute. I think you hot. What's going on? If they say no, keep your head up high, keep it moving. It's part of life. But you sitting there trying to slide past, grab a butt, touch a chest, grab a shoulder, like that's not cool. Oh, see, you see. Nah, I need 3 minutes.
Time's up. This is the part of the show where we answer your questions, or in this case, we scoured the Am I the A-hole section of Reddit, and we're gonna give our advice.
I love that.
Okay, so for today's case, I'm gonna read it. I have been with my girlfriend for around 3 years, and until this casino wins, things have been amazing. I think I want to marry this woman, so please keep this in mind when responding. I bagged an $8,000 win playing slots online,
Okay, $8,000.
but I was playing it using her stake account.
Oh,
My money, but her profile. I've been using it from time to time because she never uses it and was logged into her account on my MacBook. Her balance was $0. She had used the account. Has not used the account for months, and I deposited every cent in there. When I told her I won, she went from a chill and loving girlfriend to demanding half of my winnings. Her point? It's her account, so she should get a slice. This started a mega argument. Her friends are all over this, telling me I'm the bad guy here, but my friends are backing me up, saying the win is mine, fair and square. This whole thing's blown up way more than I expected. When we've never really fought over money before, and it's weird. We've always been pretty relaxed about money and never talked about splitting winnings before this. After winning, I bought her flowers and took her out for a nice dinner. Am I the a-hole?
Are you not the a-hole? Listen, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I heard that she demanded money. Like, I don't know. He said the word demand. I don't know if he's trying to make.
He could have been embellishing, but we don't know. We'll have to take his word for it.
Listen, at the end of the day, it was her account. I think they could have sat and talked together about what was best. Like, hey, I use your account. I just want $8,000. And just kind of communicate. He did say that he wants to marry her, and he's like, take that into account. So when you're married, don't y'all split things anyway? For the most part, that's split a lot of things.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the case. He could use the $8,000 to buy her a ring or invest in the ring, or did it was like I kind of have a surprise, or like I don't know. He could have figured it out. What made it worse that they got their friends involved. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have to even tell their friends. The friends didn't have to know.
He didn't even have to tell her. Well, I guess she would have saw it was her.
I mean, she would see, and that's not being honest. That'd be part 2 of this.
He could have just been spoiling her.
He could have been spoiling her.
Mhm.
Well, her money, well, I guess his money, right? I just think there's a lot there. I mean, if you want to do legality wise, like she could take him to court and kind of get it all because it was her account.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like she should be demanding anything. I think it should be more so like, hey, I mean, you do use my account. You should have made your own account, but we're a partnership. And again, if you're trying to marry her, it's just money. So it's $8,000. Again, I'm $100,000 would be whatever, but $8,000, like, bro, give us some of the money or just put it to the side or come up with something.
Before she calls up the betting company and says her account was hacked into and someone stole all her money out of her account.
And guess what? They won't be getting married after that.
They'll be behind bars. Justice will be served.
How you gonna be behind bars?
Behind bars, under the jail.
Trust, you will be dealt with.
He could have sat there and said that, oh, she let me use the account.
That's true, but she's saying it was fraud.
And he said he uses it all the time. Which means, and that means it's showing that he's invested his own money in it all the time, which means whatever card he's using or invested in there is linked to it. So she couldn't say that it was broken into.
Don't get any ideas and try to take him to court, please. I don't know. So let us know your thoughts if you think that he's the a-hole or if she is.
Yeah.
Did we say who was the a-hole?
Who you think it is?
Kind of think it's him.
I'm pausing. I don't know who even to choose with this.
I mean, she has some a-hole tendencies, demanding things and getting all her friends involved. But
he got his friends involved too.
Yeah, I wonder if he got them involved after her friends started reaching out to him, and he wanted to make sure that he wasn't the crazy.
Hit us up and let us know who did what. I need more context with this.
Yeah, I need a chronological order of events.
I feel like at the end of the day, once he said he's trying to marry her, I feel like that's what made him the a-hole at the end of the day.
That's true.
He said, "This is my girlfriend, whatever." He could afford it, but like, if you're gonna marry her, it's your money. Put it to the side. He could have gave us something. And lesson learned: use your own account,
and don't get your friends involved in your financial business.
It's none of their business. Remember, we said, mind your business and drink your water.
It's true. That's all the time we have for this episode. Thanks for tuning into our first episode.
I had to thank everyone who believed in us, who know that we're doing this, and I'm just very, very excited that we're able to do this. We'll be doing this every 2 weeks, so please stay tuned.
Yeah. Follow us on all social media platforms at AWBpod. Visit anxiouswhileblack.com and where you can find survival resources, more information on the show, and more.
Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Oh, we still gotta
talk?
Yeah.
See, we'll cut that off.
And you can also DM us or shoot us a message at hey, that's HEY, at anxiouswhileblack.com with any questions, suggestions, if you need advice, or you just want to say hi.
And we're also gonna give y'all some cool looks. You see my outfit I got on today? I'm giving it to y'all. Every time, let me give a little stand up, a little seat. Look at all this. But yeah, yes, I'm very happy, and stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Thanks.